video, we're going to talk about how to create a context file for our customers. And in another video, we'll talk about how to load that into your Chat GPT account. So the first thing we do is to really need to understand as many things as we can about the client so that we can ask Chat to create a context file. So in the past, we used to write this out by listing everything we can, like their values, their website, their YouTube channels, Facebook channels, any blogs. We'd list all that out manually, but now we can use AI and actually ask Chat to create its own GPT file that will then load into one of our GPTs so that we can then filter all of our questions with specific information being pulled on that customer. So in this case, I've just written a simple query. You could probably make this better, but really we're just asking it to generate a very comprehensive GPT context file for me to load into Chat GPT and provide a document that's going to produce the best results when engaging with and then insert your client. So this is where we need to personalize this every time, of course, and then enter as much as you can for for Chat to go look for on the internet. So remember that sometimes it cannot find private things or things that are hidden, but we want to find as much as we can. So in this case, New York State Movers is not very public. They don't have a lot online. So it's going to be pretty limited compared to others, but we still need to do the work. So I'm going to put in most specifically their website, and then I'm going to put any other social media. They don't have a YouTube channel, but I'm going to put in another YouTube channel that they've been posting on, and called the resource guide. I'm also going to, this is very important, put any kind of trade organizations that they belong to, or in this case, larger ones for the US, so US Moving Company organization. And then I'm going to try to include any other stuff that I know about them. In this case, there's very little that we have. So basically everything is on their website, which we've already listed here for Chat to search for. The other thing we want to do is include any brand, more specific about what we want Chat to find. So we want to ask it to look for any branding information, including hex colors. This is very important. We want those hex colors on file so that when we go to build things out in Notebook, that we will have those colors so we can create better graphics. And again, we want to make sure that it's including any values or ways that their culture is developed so that we get the best possible context file. Again, a context file is just going to be used to drop into Chat, and then we'll use it to filter everything out. So the result was all of this information that it scraped off of the internet. Again, it could be better if this was a better, more socially engaged company. In this case, this is a nonprofit. So we've got stuff about their board, which is great. It's included information on compliance. It did include hex colors. Let's see where they're here. It is hex colors. So it's gone on their line online and looked at their logos and made up the hex colors. So we don't have to go find that. Are the colors exactly what they use? Maybe not, but it's going to be close enough. That's why it says approximate here on Chat, but it's good enough. So we're going to grab all of this, copy it, and paste it into a Word document that we'll then be able to load into Chat. Now, the most important thing from this when we're scraping information about customers is then using that. So especially the hex information, right? We're going to then pull little things like this out, and we're going to do it as a specialty drop-in for like our Notebook LM. So you'll see I already have there's already the the context file loaded in here, but also you're going to see their brand guidelines. So what I did was copied all of that information about the hex colors and added this as a source into Notebook. So I added a source, hit copied text, and I pasted in the information from Chat about their primary colors into Notebook. This is important to have on file there along with the logos so that we have good information for Notebook LM to go look at the actual material or look at what they're doing and then provide graphics with the proper colors. So you can see that it's already taken that and expanded on the info that I gave that, which was the hex colors. So you can see right here, brand colors. But we want to make sure that they're using this for all of the documentation, all of the graphics that we're building out. So when you add this type of information, make sure that you're actually saying to Notebook or other places that are AI dependent that you want them to use these colors exclusively for all of the content that they're going to develop, such as an infographic or a video. It may not do that. It may get hallucinating and not do that, but this is a better way for us to make sure that we have better quality content coming out. So in this case, their colors are blue and red. We don't want graphics coming out with pink on them, because that's what, if you leave it up to Notebook, that's what's going to happen. So that's the next step. Load it in, just that basic information into your notebook. And then the last thing, when we're talking about brand standards, we're going to go a little off track, is we can create graphics for the customer's Trainual or whale account by, and usually we want to set up some type of a brand standards subject, and that will include their primary colors. Many small businesses don't know what that is. So we've already gone and grabbed that, and then we can use something like Notebook to run this data. Notice I've only checked hex color brand guidelines. If we're looking at the sources, I unchecked the other things. All we want it to do is to create a graphic on those brand guidelines. So based on this, I then clicked on infographic, and I asked it to be a basic, generate a basic, concise version of that as a infographic. So make sure we hit concise, and we always want it to be landscape. And then you can insert more information that you just want a simple graphic to represent this for training purposes. Hit generate, and it's going to come up with this actual, oops, let me click over here. It'll come up with this actual infographic like this. So, and we can drop that right into their Trainual account while we're doing the same work. So this is an explanation of how we can kill multiple birds with one stone when we start with a new client. Generate the context file that we can give to them, because they probably don't even know what that means. We will use it for all of our queries, and we'll talk about how to load that into your account in another class. Load in the basic stuff into Notebook so you're prepared to go there. And then this is just a quick win right out of the blocks. Before they even ask, we can grab things like the hex colors, right? So we're being very efficient by gathering information and putting it to use as soon as we can.